A new month is approaching quickly, and one of my favorite things about a new month is that it feels like a fresh start. I don't know about you, but I always look forward to a new month because it feels like a clean slate. Whatever happened financially last month doesn't have to define this month. We get another chance to make a plan and keep moving forward with our goals. I always try to take a few minutes at the beginning of a new month to reflect on what went well, what I could improve, and how I want to move forward. That mindset makes budgeting feel a lot more encouraging and a lot less stressful. June was a busy month for my small business, and I'm so thankful for that. I spent a lot of time creating cash envelopes and budgeting supplies for my customers. Helping other people stay excited about budgeting encourages me to stay excited about my own budget. June also turned out to be pretty expensive when it came to my paid off car. I replaced my rotors, had my tires rotated, and replaced my brake fluid. It's never fun spending money on car maintenance, but I'd rather take care of it now than deal with an even bigger repair later. One thing I'm actually looking forward to in July is finally getting my car professionally detailed. I've already set the money aside, and now I just need to get it scheduled. As if that wasn't enough, one windy day, my patio umbrella almost snapped completely in half. That was an unexpected $70 that I definitely wasn't planning for. And if you've been around for a while, you know that Cleo, my dog, is a big part of my life. She even managed to get stung on the lip by a bee this month, which I somehow got on video. It's crazy. Thankfully, she was perfectly fine after that. I did have to take it out, and that was a little difficult. But that's the second one this summer, and it definitely won't be the last. The next big expense I have for her is her dental appointment in July. That's something that I've been setting money aside over for the past few months because it is definitely a big expense, and that's exactly why I love budgeting. Life doesn't always go according to plan, but having a budget helps me prepare for the expected, adjust for the unexpected, and help keep moving forward one month at a time. So grab a cup of coffee, get comfortable, and let's put together my July budget. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I already have my budget planned out in Excel, and I'm just going to be copying it into my planner. This is the Budget Mom, Budget by Paycheck. And I'm going to be putting in my paychecks, my sinking funds, my bills, any expenses that I know are coming in July. I do have a few large expenses. For my dog, I'm going to be getting her dental and whatever else life is going to throw at me. So if you're budgeting along or if you're just hanging out, grab your favorite drink, get in your comfy clothes, and let's get started. So I always like to start with my calendar. This is completely empty in her workbook. So then you can start at any month. Like I did start this in October, which was perfectly fine because I was able to fill it out. I didn't have to start in January. Okay, so I'm going to speed this up and fill it out on camera. All right, so I've got all of my bills on here. I've got when I'm going to take out for cash envelopes. I've got my paydays, and then the last 2 Fridays of the month, I'm going to start putting some savings away. So I did become debt-free in January, but so many things have happened. I had a few large expenses, and then I was finally able to get like a good amount saved for emergencies. So now I'm just chipping away and adding to my emergency fund a little bit each month. But I did decide to get a personal trainer. So you will see some credit cards on here. Yes, I'm back in debt, but this is something that I have decided that I wanted to do and that I can afford to pay off within like 3 months, but the contract is much longer. And then I'm helping my husband. He got a lawnmower, and I'm kind of taking over, kind of helping pay that off just to be nice because I'm out of debt pretty much except for that. But this is not a problem. I'm not worried about this. The debt that I was in before, it was crazy spending, not necessary spending. That's what I want to stay away from. So I would like to remember that my dad's birthday is on the 20th. And July 3rd, I have my dog's dental. That is a pretty penny. And I have that all saved up. Everything is covered as long as there's no big problems. All right, so let's get into the first paycheck. So if you're not familiar with her workbook, she has 5 of these per month. So that way, if you get paid weekly or anything less often, you have enough paycheck budget sheets per month. So July is a 5-week month. There's 5 Fridays. So I'm actually getting paid 5 times. And a huge chunk of that is going towards my personal trainer to kind of get that debt paid off really quickly, because I don't like it. I don't like that I'm in debt again, but I've had a lot of progress already. So I'm very, very excited. And yeah, I'm just excited for what's to come. All right, so let's get to this. All right, so I did have some technical difficulties, so the following budgets are not going to be filled out on camera. They are already filled out, but this is my first paycheck of July. I have my paycheck. I have savings that I'm using for my dog. I said that she's getting a dental. This is on the higher end of what they recommended, and I'm putting that will be the cost. I honestly don't know. Hopefully they don't find any problems. But that's kind of my worst case scenario, hopefully. Okay, so then I have my regular subscriptions. I have the gym, Disney Plus, Google, Audible, Netflix, and Healthy Paws, which is my pet insurance. And then I have down here, I had trouble fitting it all in, but I have my variable expenses. So some of these are gonna be taken out in cash as cash envelopes. And then other ones like grocery, I typically do a grocery pickup at Walmart because it's easier for me to plan out exactly how much I'm spending, and I can quickly just like pick up. I can reorder my last order with a click. So I love, love, love Walmart grocery pickup. And obviously it's quicker. I just pull up and within like maybe 10 minutes, they'll come out with my groceries. I'm not saving anything this pay period, and then I'm not putting anything towards debt. I do have that new trainer debt, and then I also have the Home Depot that I'm helping my husband pay off. So this is your cash envelope breakdown. I'm gonna do this off camera. Now, paycheck 2. So here, this one is nice and simple. I have my paycheck, my rollover. I'm gonna be grooming. I just have like a minimum guess. I don't really know how much they're gonna give me. They usually tip. And then a total income for that pay period. No fixed expenses, so that's great. And then variable expenses, this is just my regular groceries and gas. I do it every single week. Sometimes I'll change groceries a little bit to try to like tighten up the budget for the month. But my good, like comfortable amount is 100 per week. And then gas. So then move up, I have no savings. And then debt, I am starting to put down a good amount towards my trainer and then the Home Depot credit card. So the trainer, I'm putting down 600. I'm doing more the rest of the month as well. I'm just trying to get it paid off. And then for Home Depot, I'm putting down 200. Carry over 177. All right, so now I've got paycheck 3 of July. I have that rollover of 177. I have my paycheck, and then I have a rent due. That's my portion of rent. And then again, groceries and gas, 100 in groceries, 65 in gas. Bring it over. I have no savings for this pay period, but I do have a firm, which is also part of my trainer debt that I have currently. And then I'm gonna carry over just a little bit to the next pay period. And then here is pay period 4. So I have that rollover. And mind you, that's not all of the money that I will have. I will still have a lot from my cash envelopes, because what I took out in the first pay period for my cash envelopes, that was for the whole entire month. So just in case this were to dip lower, because let's say groceries was over or something, I can take from miscellaneous, I can take from give back, I can take from beauty, I can take from those things that are not like super, super definite or important, or I might even have leftover from the dental for my dog. Hopefully that would be great. Okay, so I have that rollover, I have my paycheck, and then my husband is giving me some. We split the difference between electric and the internet bill. We kind of split the difference. So this should actually be electric. We don't really have any gas here. Not sure why I wrote that. Okay, so I have Apple, I have a tech app, And then again, groceries and gas. But now I'm starting to kind of like dwindle down groceries just a little bit, just to stretch out my grocery money for the month. And then I am going to save a little bit towards emergency. I do have a good amount already saved for emergency that I'm comfortable with being like an established amount right there. So every month I'm just going to pitch in a little bit on top automatically now that I've built it up really well. That's a small amount only because I'm trying to get this down. Next, I think my goal will be to save for a house down payment. So I'm putting down more, $650 towards debt in this pay period. And then here is the last pay period of the month. So this is July 31st, my payday. So a lot of this, like my groceries and gas, that's gonna cover the first week of August until I get paid in August. So I've got my rollover, I have my paycheck, and then giving me a little bit more for some of the bills, and then my buffer. So it's very important to always have a buffer in your account, always, always, always. And when I create these monthly budgets, I assume that I'm not rolling over any money because that's worst case scenario. So my assumption is that I'm going to spend all of my buffer on top of my regular bills and cash envelopes into August. When I make my August budget, that's what I'm going to assume, just to be extra safe. So my buffer is going to be whatever is left over after all of this. So we have $1259.78 minus $217 minus $150 minus $600 down here minus $115. I just found a mistake. See? That's why you gotta pay attention, but I'm glad I found it. This was $50 short. That changes it a little bit by $50. So I'm gonna decrease. So I have $1209.78 minus $217 minus $150 minus $600 minus $115 is $127.78. That is my buffer. That is what will be left in my checking account. I do want to build this up, but everything is just kind of taking time, and I want to do everything. I want to do so many things with my budget now that I paid off all of that crazy debt, and I'm just working on this debt that I'm actually like, I don't want to say happy to have, but I am very happy with what I'm doing for myself. Like, this is not just about aesthetics and looking good. This is about being healthy. So I really I'm happy about this because I'm going to pay this off many, many months before I even stop the program. Okay, so yes, I have lots of savings goals. I have a lot of plans of things that I want to do in the house. I want to save for a new house. There's just so many things, and you want to start them all at once. So that makes it really difficult because there's only so much money that you have to work with. All right, so these are the expense tracker pages. I believe it's 3 pages, front and back. So then you have multiple accounts that you can work with. I will do like my checking account for 2 pages, and then I'll move over to cash for 2 pages. And I sometimes, when I think it's getting a little crazy, I'll put my credit card in here just because I use my credit card throughout the month to get points back. But I'll pay it off throughout the month as well. But sometimes it just gets a little bit out of hand, and I'm behind on paying off like the individual expenses and tracking. So that is something that I definitely want to get better at. I want to be updating my expense tracker every single day because updating weekly is getting so tiring. It is so frustrating when things are not adding up. So I would like to do this every day. It would make me feel so much more comfortable about my budget. But anyways, that is pretty much it for the month. I'm going to fill out this meal plan because I am eating very healthy. I am planning out all of my meals ahead of time, and I will let you guys know how I do with everything. Are you paying off debt? Are you trying to save? Are you doing both? Let me know in the comments how everything's going, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.